evening, ladies and gentlemen. So good to see you all here tonight. Thank you for joining us on a beautiful, cool fall autumn day. On behalf of our Oxford Middle School choirs and the Oxford Community Schools, we are so glad to extend you a warm welcome to the members of the American Armed Forces and their families. The members of the American Legion, the disabled American veterans, members of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the Ladies Auxiliary, the Oxford AmVets, and the Sons of the American Legion. I'm Jan Flynn, and tonight we're here to honor the sacrifice and the services of the American Armed Forces. A special word of thanks tonight to the North Oakland County Young Marines Color Guard, and a special greeting to our veterans of World War II. Also present tonight are veterans from the eras of the Cold War, Korea, Vietnam, the Persian Gulf War, and the conflict in Iraq and Afghanistan. We welcome all of you and we thank you for your service and thank you for being here tonight. In every generation, brave Americans have stepped forward and served honorably in the armed forces. Our military is strong. They are generous. They have shown great courage and upheld high standards of decency and valor. Our cause is liberty, justice, and peace. And millions breathe free today because of the American soldiers who fought and sacrificed for that cause. Tonight we honor America's veterans. They are the pride of our nation. They have fought our wars, defended our shores, and kept us free. Veterans, as a grateful community, we salute you tonight. Tonight, the North Oakland County Young Marines will present the colors, and the pledge will be led by Mr. Joel Morris. Please rise for the national anthem and the pledge.
America was not built on fear. America was built on courage, on imagination, and an unbeatable determination to do the job at hand. Our debt to the heroic men and valiant women in the service of our country can never be repaid. They have earned our undying gratitude. America will never forget their sacrifices.
Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and the success of liberty. John F. Kennedy.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on to them to do the same. Or we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was once like in the United States of America. Ronald Reagan.
Veterans Day is a day that was set aside to honor those who have served courageously in the defense of our nation. Veterans, if you are able, as the song of the branch of the service is sung, would you please rise so we may thank you for protecting our homeland. United States Army.
Over hill, over dip, we will face the dusty trip, and the caissons go rolling along. In and out, hear them shout, after march and rise up back, and the caissons go rolling along. And it's high, in the field artillery, shout out your numbers loud and strong. 1, 2, for wherever you go, you will always know that the caissons go rolling along.
United States Marines. United States Navy. United States Coast Guard. United States Air Force.
We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
With respect and gratitude, thank you, veterans. Our debt to you can never be repaid. Thank you for serving our country and protecting our freedoms. We must never, ever take our freedom for granted, because our freedom is not free.
Veterans, as the next generation, we want to promise you that we will carry the baton that you have faithfully carried in this race. And as you hand that baton to us, we will run hard to be the best person we can be, following in your footsteps.
Tonight we have an extraordinary opportunity to hear from an individual who has had an extraordinary life. Father John Maxim is a Michigan native. He received his undergraduate degree from the University of Michigan and continued on to receive a Juris Doctor degree from the Detroit College of Law. Father Maxim was commissioned as a JAG Corps student program in 1983. So I wasn't familiar with what JAG meant, so I looked it up. The Judge Advocate General's Corps is the branch of specialty of the military concerned with military justice and military law. He has served as both a trial and defense counsel and has had experience as a partner in a civil litigation firm. In 1999, Father Maxim was recalled to active duty and served as a military judge in numerous global assignments. In 2007, Father Maxim served as the Major Crimes Litigation Investigations Team Chief at the Law and Order Task Force in Iraq. There, Commander Maxim worked with Iraqi jurists and investigators, as well as the United States law enforcement agencies, investigating and prosecuting crimes against the Iraqi people by government officials. He coordinated the prosecution of a former Minister of Health and his primary aide on charges of mass murder, kidnapping, and corruption. This constituted the first major prosecution of government officials after the restoration of sovereignty. In 2008, Judge Maxim was assigned to the Navy Marine Corps Court of Criminal Appeals, where he was ultimately designated as senior judge. In 2014, Commander Maxim retired after 31 years of naval service. After his service in the Navy, Father Maxim studied in the Roman Catholic priesthood, receiving a master's degree in divinity, and was assigned to St. Joseph's Church and School in Lake Orion, where he currently serves as the associate pastor. Father Maxim's personal decorations include the Legion of Merit, the Bronze Star, the Meritorious Service Medal, the Navy Marine Corps Commendation Medal, and the Navy Marine Corps Achievement Medal. Ladies and gentlemen, to deliver a special Veterans Day message, please welcome Father John A. Maxim.
Well, thank you, Jen. That was an exceedingly kind and humiliatingly long introduction. If this were St. Joseph's, you'd know how much trouble you were in because we'd only have 88 minutes left of my homily. But Jan has threatened me with life and limb if I go beyond 10 minutes, so we'll try to keep it right around there. Oh, don't clap so soon. You might just enjoy this. Before we start, I was wondering if I could have anyone who is a combat veteran stand up, please. I'm just a beat-up old trial and appellate court judge, a staff officer. These are the guys. These are the door kickers. There's a young man down here who I won't identify, who I had the privilege of meeting right before our meeting tonight, who has one of our nation's highest decorations, the Silver Star, and a Bronze Star with V for Valor on it. Those are real Americans. I want to thank our young people tonight. You guys are total rock stars, okay? I mean, I was really impressed. I loved sitting back listening to you. I think we have the 6th grade over here. I wonder if any of you are many of Mrs. Melissa Flanagan's children over here. Oh, I thought we had some. Yep, she's a parishioner of mine. And then we've got the 7th grade right over here. And then we have the leaders, the 8th grade right here, okay? I was asked to talk about my time in naval service. And that would take a long time. 31 years is a big chunk of your life. You might say, and these young people might wonder, you know, Father John, why did you decide to become a naval officer? I always wanted to be a naval officer. It came from watching John Wayne in the movie In Harm's Way. I always wanted to grow up and be Admiral Rock Torrey. I'm no John Wayne, and I only made it to commander, but it's been a lot of fun. I saw the whole world, and around the world, I saw our nation and the greatness of it. I saw the breadth and capacity of the great republic. Everywhere there are the eagle's wings spread, and freedom follows. I've seen it in the Philippines, in Panama. I've seen it in the dreadful, dreadful place that was Iraq. I've seen its greatness from the flag bridge of a supercarrier, where you look out at the stars at night in the middle of the Indian Ocean, and no one's an atheist at that moment, because you see the hand of God. I have seen the glory of America as I've stepped over respectfully the body bag of a 19-year-old young man wearing the cloth of his country. And I've seen the greatness of America as I stood at attention at Arlington National Cemetery at the funeral of a former subordinate of mine, Lieutenant Mario Ray Soper, who was killed by the aircraft from the terrorists that went into the side of the Pentagon. I have seen victory, and I have seen glory. I have witnessed cowardice, and I have witnessed heroism, just like the hero I met tonight. I have seen greatness in America, and I have seen the tyranny and the horror of terrorism, the slime and nastiness of cowards who don't come out in the open, who blow up little children. I have seen our nation when we put our resources together, and we can do anything, and all of it can be good. I thought I'd tell you a couple stories. One of them kind of funny. I remember one day I had sent several of my subordinates out in Iraq, out into Indian country as we called it. Please forgive the term, but that's just the way we called it out there. You feel like you're in a Western. And we're in private security vehicles, up-armored Suburbans, which meant they were armored to stop everything but the big bullets that were being fired at us. And the only convenient thing about them was inconvenience, which was they had these very heavy doors that were hard to close, and you're in body armor and a big helmet. And I remember going down a highway heading towards the green zone, because we were out in the red zone, out by Rusafa. And you had to go around a turnaround, just like we have turnarounds here nowadays. I don't like turnarounds anymore after this experience. And some rascal decided he was going to try and blow us up. So he ignites an IED off to the starboard side, and it takes down a building because this guy was relatively misguided and poorly trained, and the explosion shaped out the other way. And we were driven around by this private security chap, and he was a former British SAS, secret Special Air Service guy, some of the best commandos in the world. And in the most calm way, he looked at us in the back, a bunch of staff guys like me, you know, just lawyers and doctors, and says, "Gentlemen, prepare to defend yourselves." Puts the vehicle in reverse, and starts going about 80 miles an hour backwards. All I had on me was my 9mm little pea shooter, and I'm going, "Defend yourself, are you kidding me?" I was a long way away from Grosse Pointe then, let me tell you. But I have to say I was never more proud. I had working for me in Iraq 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old young men and women who distinguished themselves, who went into harm's way with mortar explosions all over the place, looking for valuable documents in blown-up police headquarters and police stations that were covering up the corruption and the torture of innocent Iraqis. Never was I more proud. And I've also been there in situations that were very peaceable but painful, such as the time when I won the suit in federal district court that legalized the anthrax shot for all Americans wearing the uniform. Yes, you can blame me, I am Anthrax Man. But in order to win this suit, I had to get the anthrax shot first. So I was one of the first guys to get it. And I'd heard all this stuff about the anthrax shot, how much it hurt. And so I went into medical and asked, okay, is it time for me to get my shot? Hey, Commander, sit down. You really want to sit down? No, I'm in a hurry, I'll stand. And they go, you want to sit down? They give me this shot, and I go, is this what they're talking about? And like 12 seconds go by, and I felt like I didn't have a left arm anymore. So when Senior Judge Ziegler in the Western District of Pennsylvania said, Commander Maxim, have you received the shot? I said, yes, Your Honor, I have, and I paid the price for it. Now, would you just legalize the thing? The message I have tonight for all of you, but mainly for our young people, is never think for a second that wearing the cloth of your country has any connection with what you see on nonsensical games like Call of Duty or Fortnite. Wearing the cloth of your country is an incredibly wonderful privilege, because every time you put it on in the morning, you remind yourself how unworthy of it you are, how it represents all 235 or 40 million Americans, how each one of us has to remember the tens of thousands of stones around the world with men and women's names engraved on them who have shed their blood for our flag. That uniform represents them. So every day before I left my house, I'd make sure that my ribbons were straight, my collar devices were even, my cover was on perfectly, because I was wearing the cloth of my country. The only uniform I have ever worn superior to that uniform is the uniform I moved up to when I decided to work for the boss after working for Washington. So all I can tell you is this. When your nation needs you, I have no doubt that your generation will do what their generations did. You will look at your flag. You will understand the concept of freedom and democracy, free speech, the right to a jury trial, the right to not to live in an abusive environment, and you will answer the call. You will answer it nobly, you will answer it effectively, and you will answer it with alacrity. And someday, not too long from now, I'm sad to say, one of you will be sitting on a corner seat, and you'll be wearing a silver star. Our democracy is fragile. This was an experiment by a few gentlemen in Philadelphia who decided that our system of government had to be for others, free, elected, that there were these unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I have seen that pursuit defended with integrity all over the world. I've seen it defended with honor. And I've been convinced beyond any doubt, let alone a reasonable one, that America has been great, is great, and will forever be great. God bless America, and thank you for having me tonight.
land of cotton. Old times there are not forgotten. Look away. Look away. Dixieland. Oh, I wish I was in Dixie. Away, away in Dixieland I'll take my stand to live and die in Dixie. Away down south. In Dixie, as I was walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. I roamed and rambled and followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of her diamond deserts, and all around me a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. This land is yours. This land is your land. This land is mine. California, Delaware, deserts, the shore we sing by. This land is your land. This land is my land. This land was made for you and me. Give me your time, your war, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shores. Send peace. The homeless tempest tossed to me. I lift my hand beside the golden
I'm that kid that saw that candy. I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy. I'm glad I am.
So's Uncle Sam.
I'm a real life Yankee Doodle, made my name through fame and boodle, just like Mr. Doodle did by riding on the pony.
I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy. A Yankee Doodle do or die. A real life nephew of my Uncle Sam, born on the 4th of July.
I've got a Yankee Doodle sweetheart. She's my Yankee Doodle joy. Yankee Doodle came to London just to ride the ponies. I am that Yankee Doodle boy.
You're a grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag, and forever in peace may you reign. You're the emblem of the land I love, the hope of the free and the brave. Every heart beats true under
Tonight, please welcome Mr. Clarence Cameron, United States Marine Corps, who will have some special acknowledgments of our veterans.
I'm not giving this job up.
Do you want the lights on? You want them on? Down. Oh.
Search of World War II. Please stand up. American Legion. He's Air Force. Where is he? I don't have to commit Hoffman. Is he here? He's not here. All right. Anyway, okay. I'm not going to ask you to sing the Marine Corps hymn, but just I know you're a Navy man, but okay, next week from Sunday, the Marine Corps is 244 years old. Young Marine Gunny Sergeant Jameson Anderson, present yourself. Yes, sir. As the Executive Officer of North Oakland County, I want to thank you for having a little bit of time that we can share a bit of celebration with our union. Present yourself to the commander. Yes, sir. This young man is really, when he first came to our unit, he wouldn't say boo when you told him to. Now he is directing our young Marines Wonderful, wonderful. This is to certify that Jameson J. Anderson of the North Oakland County Young Marine has successfully completed the requirements for the Young Marine of the Year award. It is authorized to wear the ribbon with 1 bronze star from this date forward. Clarence Cameron, Commanding Officer.
Here today to remember the brave men and women who have served and those who are currently serving in the American Armed Forces. We're here to honor those who have fought and those who continue to defend our nation. We're here to honor those who are still missing and those who gave their last full measure of devotion for our country.
As a nation, we've always had citizens willing to stand up and answer the call to serve in hours of need. Today, we honor our veterans, past and present, for their unyielding sacrifice and dedication for our great nation. Thank you for serving our country and protecting our freedoms.
It's a
Thank you for joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. After our last tune, we'd like to invite you to join us in the lobby. You can meet your students out in the lobby, and thank you for coming tonight. One more tune.
We the people, who are the guardians of this land, inhabited by the free and protected by the brave, a people who pledge allegiance to the same flag and work to protect the same Constitution, share the great country we love, the United States of America.